Think those shiny state quarters in your pocket are only worth 25 cents? Think again. Some of these state quarter dollar coins are hiding secrets, rare mint errors, low mintages, and historical quirks that make them worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars. First up, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter is one of the most iconic coins in American history. It wasn't just a quarter, it was a celebration of the 200th anniversary of the birth of the United States. In the early 1970s, the U.S. government decided to create a special coin series to mark the country's bicentennial in 1976. Rather than releasing the new designs in 1976 alone, the U.S. Mint began producing the coins as early as 1975, and they all bore the dual date, 1776 to 1976. That's why there are no quarters dated 1975. Every quarter from this period carries the bicentennial marking. The reverse side of the coin was changed from the standard eagle design to a unique image of a colonial drummer boy standing in front of a torch surrounded by 13 stars, representing the original colonies. This winning design was created by Jack L.R. and was selected from over 900 entries submitted in a national competition. The obverse side retained the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, but with the special dual date added beneath the bust, 1776 to 1976. The coin struck a perfect balance between tradition and celebration. 3 types of bicentennial quarters were made. The most common were the regular circulation strikes, made of a copper nickel-clad composition, produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. These coins have no mint mark or a D mint mark, respectively. In addition, a special 40% silver-clad version was minted at the San Francisco Mint, both as business strikes and as proof coins. The silver versions are distinguishable by their S mint mark and are sought after by collectors for their precious metal content and limited mintage. Now let's talk about value. The vast majority of bicentennial quarters you'll find in circulation today are the copper nickel-clad versions from Philadelphia and Denver. In circulated condition, these coins are worth their face value, just 25 cents. However, in fine to extremely fine condition, these quarters can sell for a modest premium, often ranging from 50 cents to $1.5, depending on condition and demand. Uncirculated examples, especially with full luster and no wear, are worth a bit more, around $3 to $5 each. The real value lies in the higher grade specimens. Quarters graded Ms. 65 or better by professional grading services like PCGs or NGC can be worth $10 to $40, especially if they have strong strike details and clean surfaces. And coins with errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet can fetch significantly higher prices, sometimes even hundreds of dollars depending on rarity and appeal. Now, let's turn to the 40% silver bicentennial quarters from the San Francisco Mint. These were never intended for general circulation and were sold as part of special collector sets. If you have one of these silver quarters in average condition, it's typically worth $4 to $7, based largely on silver content. In pristine condition, or as part of an intact set, they can fetch $10 to $15 or more, and certified proof specimens in perfect condition can sell for over $20 or more. Collectors also seek coins with cameo or deep cameo finishes. These are proof coins that display a frosted design against a mirror-like background. Deep cameo bicentennial proofs can bring in significantly higher prices in top grades, sometimes reaching $40 to $75 or more for P69 or P70 certified examples. While the bicentennial quarter is not rare, it holds tremendous historical and sentimental value. It was one of the first times a circulating U.S. coin had its reverse design changed for a national celebration. Over 1.6 billion bicentennial quarters were struck between 1975 and 1976, making it a truly widespread symbol of America's 200-year journey. For many people, it was their first exposure to coin collecting. Even today, It remains a favorite among collectors of all ages. So if you find a 1776 to 1976 quarter in your change, take a closer look. While most are common, those in better condition, or with special characteristics, could be worth holding onto. And if you come across one with an S mint mark, it just might be silver, making it worth a bit more than pocket change. The 2005 Kansas State Quarter is part of the famous 50 State Quarters program launched by the United States Mint between 1999 and 2008. Each coin in the series honored a U.S. state in the order it was admitted into the Union. Kansas was the 34th state and joined the Union on January 29, 1861, so its quarter was released in 2005, making it the 34th coin in the series. What makes the Kansas quarter instantly recognizable is its powerful yet simple design. The reverse features two symbols of the state, a majestic American bison in the foreground and a cluster of sunflowers in the background. The state flower of Kansas. This bold, nature-themed design was created by Norman E. Namath and captures the spirit of the Kansas plains, open, wild, and full of life. Above the design is the word Kansas, the year of statehood, 1861, and at the bottom, the coin is marked with the year of issue, 2005, along with the inscription Pluribus Unum on the obverse side. As with all state quarters, we see the traditional portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, but updated slightly for the series by William Cousins. The obverse includes the words United States of America, Liberty, and In God We Trust, along with the coin's denomination, quarter dollar. Now, let's talk about mintage. The 2005 Kansas quarter was minted in large numbers. At both the Philadelphia Mint marked with a P and the Denver Mint marked with a D. Combined, more than 560 million coins were produced, so this is not a rare coin by any means, in circulated condition. In fine condition, meaning light wear but still with visible detail, the Kansas quarter is typically worth its face value, 25 cents. Even in very fine to extra fine condition, its value stays close to face value unless the coin is uncirculated or features an error. Now here's where it gets interesting. Kansas quarters are known for a famous and humorous mint error, nicknamed the In God We Rust error. On some 2005 Kansas quarters, particularly from the Philadelphia Mint, a buildup of grease on the die caused the T in trust to be partially or fully missing. As a result, the motto appears as In God We Rust. This die break error became widely known, and these error coins are popular among collectors. The value of the In God We Rust error coin varies depending on condition and severity of the missing letter. Light grease-filled errors might sell for $10 to $25, while stronger, clearer examples with the full T missing can fetch $50 to over $100, especially if the coin is in uncirculated condition. Standard uncirculated Kansas quarters, meaning no wear, bright luster, and possibly pulled from a mint roll, typically sell for $1 to $3 each depending on the mint mark and strike quality. Coins graded Ms. 65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGs or NGC can go for $10 to $25, and coins with full strike and no contact marks are especially desirable. There were also proof versions of the Kansas quarter made at the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. These came in both clad and 40% silver varieties as part of annual collector sets. The clad proof version, with a mirror-like finish, sells for around $3 to $5, while the silver proof version can be worth $10 to $15 or more, depending on silver prices and coin grade. While the Kansas quarter isn't considered rare, it holds a strong place in the state quarter series due to its powerful design, its connection to American wildlife, and, of course, the humorous and collectible In God We Rust error. The 1999 Georgia State Quarter is one of the first coins released under the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, a legendary initiative that celebrated each of the 50 states with a unique quarter design. Georgia, being the fourth state to join the Union, had its coin released as the fourth entry in the series, on July 19, 1999. This quarter's reverse design is rich in historical symbolism. It features a peach at the center, Georgia's iconic state fruit, and the origin of its nickname, the peach state. Behind the peach is an outline of the state of Georgia, symbolizing pride and identity. Framing it all is a wreath made of live oak branches, the state tree of Georgia, which represents strength and resilience. Across the center is a scroll that reads the powerful state motto, wisdom, justice, moderation, words taken from Georgia's state seal and deeply rooted in its political and cultural history. At the top of the coin is the state name, Georgia, along with the year it became a state, 1788. Below the design is the date of issue, 1999, along with the inscription, E pluribus unum, Latin for of many, one. The obverse side features the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, but adapted for the state series with a more refined, detailed finish. Like all state quarters, it includes the phrases, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination, quarter dollar. In terms of mintage, the Georgia quarter was struck at 3 U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia P. Mint Mark, over 451 million coins; Denver D. Mint Mark, over 488 million coins; San Francisco S. Mint Mark, used for clad and silver proof sets. With such high production numbers, the 1999 Georgia quarter in fine condition, meaning a coin that has circulated but retains visible details, is generally worth its face value, about 25 cents, even in very fine or extra fine condition. Unless the coin is uncirculated or contains a special feature, the value remains modest, typically $0.3 to $1.00. However, uncirculated examples, especially those in Ms. 63 to Ms. 65 condition, can fetch $3 to $7, and professionally graded Ms. 67 plus coins can be worth $20 or more, depending on market demand and the strength of the strike. The San Francisco Mint proof versions, marked with an S, were never released into circulation. These coins have a shiny mirror-like finish, and are often found in proof sets. The clad proof version is usually worth around $3 to $5, while the 40% silver proof version can be worth $8 to $15, based on silver spot prices and coin condition. Collectors also keep an eye out for errors and varieties. On the Georgia quarter, known errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, and double dies, though these are relatively rare. Depending on the severity and visibility, such errors can be worth $20 to several $100s. For example, a strong double die on the motto or state name could command a premium if authenticated. One fun fact: when the Georgia quarter was released in 1999, it marked a moment of renewed interest in coin collecting across the country. It was part of the first 5 quarters ever released in the state series, and millions of Americans were checking their change daily, starting coin collections for the first time. The program brought coin collecting into mainstream culture, and the Georgia quarter was a major part of that movement. So, if you have a 1999 Georgia State quarter, take a closer look. Check the condition, mint mark, and design quality. While most are still worth 25 cents, some can be valuable if preserved well, struck cleanly, or displaying a rare error. And above all, it's a beautiful coin that represents a rich piece of American history, both state and national. The 2007 Idaho State Quarter is one of the final entries in the legendary 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Idaho was the 43rd state to join the Union back in 1890, and its state quarter was released on June 4, 2007. As the 43rd coin in the series, what makes the Idaho quarter truly stand out is its bold and symbolic reverse design, featuring a majestic peregrine falcon, a bird once on the brink of extinction, now a symbol of both Idaho's wildlife conservation efforts and the power of natural recovery. The falcon is shown in flight, wings raised, in stunning detail, with its sharp eyes and beak emphasizing speed, precision, and dominance in the skies. Above the bird, you'll see the word Idaho and the year it joined the Union, 1890.to. The right of the bird is a silhouette of the state of Idaho, and below that is the Latin motto, Esto Perpetua, which translates to, "May it be perpetual." It's a reference to Idaho's desire for eternal strength, freedom, and preservation of its natural beauty. The design was created by Don Everhart, one of the U.S. Mint senior sculptor engravers. His work captures the grace of the peregrine falcon, the fastest bird in the world, capable of diving at speeds over 240 miles per hour, making it a fitting symbol for a rugged, wild, and resilient state like Idaho. S for the obverse side. Like all coins in the state quarters program, it features the portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan and slightly modified by William Cousins for this series. It includes the inscriptions, "United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust," and the denomination, quarter dollar. When it comes to mintage, the Idaho quarter was produced at 3 mints, Philadelphia P over 288 million coins, Denver D over 263 million coins, San Francisco S struck proof coins in both clad and 40% silver. Because of this high production, the 2007 Idaho quarter is not rare in circulated condition. In fine condition, meaning a coin that has been used but still has strong detail, it is typically worth just its face value, 25 cents. Coins in uncirculated condition, especially if they come from mint rolls or bags, can fetch $1 to $3 each, and coins graded Ms. 65 or higher can sell for $10 to $20, depending on the market, luster, and strike quality. The San Francisco minted proof versions, marked with an S, were not released for circulation. These came in 2 types: clad proofs, worth around $3 to $5, silver proofs, which contain 40% silver, and typically sell for $8 to $15, depending on silver prices and coin grade. There are also occasional errors and varieties found on Idaho quarters. These include die cracks, off-center strikes, and double die, obverse or reverse varieties. While rare, such errors can add $20 to several $100s in value, depending on the severity and demand. One of the more interesting things about the Idaho quarter is how its bold and naturalistic design resonated with collectors. Unlike many state quarters that depict buildings, crops, or people, Idaho's design connects with the raw wilderness and the resurgence of a powerful animal once on the endangered species list. That gave the coin a unique identity within the series. Even if the Idaho quarter isn't considered rare, it's a striking coin and a strong symbol of environmental awareness, state pride, and American wildlife. If you're building a full collection of state quarters, this is definitely one of the standout designs to showcase. So, if you come across a 2007 Idaho state quarter in your change, take a second look. While most are worth 25 cents, a pristine one or one with an error might just be worth more than you think. And even if it's not rare, it's still a coin worth keeping for its beauty, symbolism, and place in numismatic history. The 2002 Ohio State Quarter is a tribute to one of America's most historically rich and innovative states. It was released as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program and entered circulation on March 11, 2002. Ohio was the 17th state admitted to the Union in 1803, and that number appears prominently on the coin to honor its position in early U.S. history. The reverse design of the coin celebrates Ohio's legacy in aviation and space exploration. At the center is an astronaut in full space gear, a symbol of the state's connection to some of the most famous figures in NASA history. Ohio is the birthplace of both Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon, and John Glenn, the first American to orbit Earth. Behind the astronaut, you'll see the image of the 1905 Wright Flyer, the first powered aircraft created by Orville and Wilbur Wright, who also called Ohio home. Above the design is the outline of the state of Ohio, and inscribed within it are the words "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers." This design was created by Donna Weaver and engraved by John Mercanti, one of the most respected sculptor engravers at the U.S. Mint. The reverse layout balances state pride with national achievement, reminding everyone that Ohio played a major role in mankind's journey from earthbound travel to space exploration. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and used throughout the State Quarters series. It includes the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination, quarter dollar. The year of issue, 2002, is also present on the reverse side, along with the phrase, E pluribus unum. In terms of mintage, the 2002 Ohio quarter was produced in large quantities. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 217 million coins with the P Mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced more than 414 million with the D Mint mark. Additionally, the San Francisco Mint issued both clad and 90% silver-proof versions marked with an S. Because of these high numbers, the Ohio State quarter is very common in circulated condition and fine condition, which typically means the coin has light to moderate wear, but retains visible details and a smooth surface. The 2002 Ohio quarter is generally worth only its face value of 25 cents. It's still considered a collector's item, especially for those building a full state quarters set, but it does not hold premium value unless it is uncirculated, certified, or contains a notable error. Coins in uncirculated condition, especially those with strong luster and no contact marks, can be worth $1 to $3. High-grade examples, such as those graded Ms. 65 or better by a professional grading service like PCGs or NGC, may be worth $10 to $25 or more, depending on their sharpness and surface preservation. Proof versions struck at the San Francisco Mint were not released into circulation and instead were sold in annual mint and proof sets. The clad proof version, with the sharp mirrored finish, usually sells for $3 to $5, while the 90% silver-proof version, with deeper mirrors and frosted details, can sell for $10 to $15 depending on silver spot price and coin quality. Collectors also watch for known errors on Ohio quarters, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double dies. While not extremely common, such errors can raise the value significantly. A strong double die with visible doubling on the astronaut or the text could fetch $50 to $200 or more, depending on condition and demand. The Delaware State quarter holds a special place in U.S. coinage history. It was the very first coin released under the 50 State Quarters program, which began in 1999 and ran through 2008. Delaware was the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution on December 7, 1787, making it the first state to be honored in the series. The Delaware quarter was officially released into circulation on January 4, 1999, and it set the tone for one of the most popular coin programs in the history of the U.S. Mint. The reverse design of the Delaware quarter features a dramatic and historic scene, a depiction of Caesar Rodney on horseback. Caesar Rodney was a patriot and statesman who played a crucial role in America's independence. In July 1776, he famously rode 80 miles overnight through a thunderstorm from Dover to Philadelphia to cast the deciding vote in favor of independence. That courageous journey is captured on the coin, with Rodney shown riding across the open fields, symbolizing urgency, sacrifice, and leadership in a time of crisis. Above the image is the word Delaware, and beneath it is the year of statehood, 1787. To the right is the inscription Caesar Rodney, and below the horse is the year of issue, 1999, along with the standard motto, Pluribus Unum, which means, out of many, one. The design was created by artist William Cousins and engraved by John Mercanti, one of the U.S. Mint's most recognized engravers. It was praised for its balance of history and design, making the Delaware quarter an instant favorite among collectors. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan, with slight modifications for the State series. Surrounding Washington's image are the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination, quarter dollar. In terms of mintage, The Delaware quarter was struck at 3 mint locations. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 373 million coins, marked with a P. The Denver Mint struck over 401 million coins, marked with a D. The San Francisco Mint produced proof coins with an S mint mark in both clad and 90% silver versions for collector sets, because it was minted in such large numbers. The Delaware quarter is very common in circulated condition. In fine condition, meaning the coin has light to moderate wear, but its details are still visible, it is generally worth only its face value 25 cents. In extra fine or about uncirculated condition, it might bring 30 to 50 cents from collectors who need it to complete a set. And circulated examples, especially those with strong luster and no visible marks, are worth more. Coins graded Ms. 63 to Ms. 65 by professional grading services like PCGs or NGC can sell for $2 to $5 each. Higher grade coins, such as those in Ms. 67 or above, can be worth $20 to $50 or even more, depending on market demand and eye appeal. The San Francisco proof versions are more valuable due to their limited mintage and mirror-like finish. A clad proof with an S mint mark typically sells for $3 to $5, while a silver proof version may bring in $8 to $15. Based on silver spot prices and coin grade, Delaware quarters are also known for a few collectible error varieties. One of the most famous is the spitting horse error, where a die crack makes it look like Caesar Rodney's horse is spitting. This minor die crack runs from the horse's mouth toward the rim. Depending on severity and condition, this error coin can be worth anywhere from $10 to $150 or more, especially in uncirculated grades. Even though the Delaware quarter is common, it holds a major place in modern U.S. coin history. It was the first coin of a 10-year series that re-energized coin collecting in America. It brought stories like Caesar Rodney's Midnight Ride back into public consciousness and encouraged millions of people to start collecting state quarters. For many, this was the very first coin they noticed with the state-themed design, and it marked the beginning of a new appreciation for coins beyond their face value.